Big Daddy back then. So those are my kittens. No, Lucky's always been Lucky. Lucky rode under my car for 5 miles from my house to my mama's house. So I called her Lucky because I came out of my mama's house and I was like, wow, mama, you got a kitten just like I got at the house. And then I realized it was the kitten from my house. She had got under the car and rode all the way there and got out. All right, guys, my time is up. It's I don't know. Thor was out this morning. Are you here, buddy? Is my brother Thor here? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So you know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. The next meeting should be today at 2 o'clock.
Your shipping manager left to
Should be today at 2 o'clock. All right, time. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Thor's gonna show y'all how to eat. But I died for peace. Don't need your protection. Don't need no shield. Now watch me bleed. Now watch me bleed. Now watch me bleed. Now watch me bleed. Winds of life are blowing. It comes down like rain. But I will roar like thunder. And now it's storm like hail. Rising for protecting. Both of her chains. But I just pull up lightning. And embrace the pain. Embrace the pain. Embrace the pain. Now watch me bleed. Now watch me bleed. Now watch me bleed. Now watch me bleed. Failure is not an option. I will not just survive. That is my brother Thor. So I'm going to turn it over to him. I'm going to go back over here and see if I can meditate and get meta to drop so I can take some profit here. But you guys take it easy. I will see you on Tuesday. Later. You guys have a great weekend.
What is going on, Bear Bull Traders? Ed, thanks so much, man. Hey, I'm feeling meta for you right now. I think we're in a selling range. I see big bids down near 157. I think if the market sells at all, I think you get that meta drop. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. See if Ed gets to feed as well. What's up, everybody? Um, How is everyone's trading day? Sorry I wasn't here in the morning. Unfortunately, my wife and now myself is rocking and rolling with a little bit of the vid, which isn't really hitting me too bad, but I have more energy than she did. So I ran the kids to their especially my daughter to her last day of summer school, dropped her off. And now we are doing what we're doing. So good times. So I did manage to get here. What happened with GME? GME crazy. I did. Oh, oh, ouch, yikes. Let's get this chart up. GameStop just went. Look at that R4, man. Rejected that R4, ran the entire range in like a 5-minute candle. How's that happen? Woo, that's rough. Wow. Look at this though, Jared. I'm not trying to say one thing or another, but look, even in the midst of all of that, you know what I mean? Even in the midst of just a full-on auction in this moment, right? Where we just basically just flew into auction, we still ran right to a cam point and nailed it and bounced. Like I saw that in my first tempting. I was tempted because we went right into S3 and through volume, and I was like, no, I'm over gold today. I'm not doing any risky trading. If I had just longed that using a new 1-minute low, that I'd be instantly up like $600 right now or something like that. I just wouldn't be able to do it. It'd be crazy trade. It's way too risky for me. But still, just crazy how well they do that. So for me, my day was actually not too bad. I sat down a little late because of the drop off, and then I spotted good old Tesla. I haven't traded Tesla in a while, but when I sat down, Tesla was coming into S3. As Tesla came into S3, I saw some liquidity building there. It held. I saw the book starting to stack towards the central pivot on the top side. So I longed S3. I gave it a little bit of distance. I think it was like 688, 680, 750, somewhere around like that. Gave it a little space because Tesla is really spready. And yep, and I was gonna say the shout out on this one is gonna go to my trading buddy Lori. I sat down, I said, "What's looking good?" And she said, "Tesla near S3 is looking pretty was looking pretty good." And I said, "Okay, sounds good." I looked at it, I agreed, I longed. Gone. So that was the moneymaker. Nice. 10R today. Good for you. Watch out, folks. Lori's got her stuff together. She doesn't talk much, but she's the real deal. She's crushed 10R today. Better day than me. I ended up at 7 though. I'll take it. Anyway, that's that. We got Q's holding the open price. We got a really aggressive sell at the open, came back to S3, held S3, and now we've kind of rallied out. Pretty nice. Hey, Susan. This one was really weird. And Lori will back me up here. There was a liquidity area that had formed right here at like 688. and it was kind of this just really big liquidity area, and it formed in a similar way on the Qs, and it just seemed like we didn't have enough momentum to get through whatever was there. So once it started to hold up, obviously since it's at S3, I'm only looking for a buy at this point. So I figured I'll give it a go here. If it doesn't work and it gets too low, I'll get out, let it let it run to S4 and then try it again if it ran through that liquidity. But sure enough, it held that liquidity area just beautifully and broke out. BAC, let me look. I mean, BAC's playing by the rules right now. It's a short though. Right now. So remember, whenever you're below S4, it's a short, right? When the way I trade cams, whenever I'm below S4, I'm really looking for shorts, right? So BA opened under S4, so the play would have been a short at S4. The opening squeeze gave you a slight opportunity, but this pullback was very, very nice. This was the short op right there of the day for BAC. Unfortunately, that opportunity has been missed already now. We have large bids to the downside on the ladder down here, down here. So I think as of right now, it looks like BAC is trying to run back down to, this is floor 3 here, floor NYSE floor level 3, which is 2970. Notice the correlation, 2970. Look at the large order, 2970. Little tape reading, right? Little tape reading help for you guys when we're isolating target areas where we expect bounces. Look how we're bouncing. Look where the orders are, right? So if this starts to sell, that's where I'm looking for it to go. I'm going to look for it to hit that order and then bounce. And if it compresses against that order and more orders load to the downside, I'm going to look for a continued breakdown. I'm not along at all on BAC at any point in time right now. The only way I become along on BAC would be if BAC came all the way above S4, loaded above S4, and then broke. Right. S4 can be a long or a short, but if I'm under S4, I'm short. If I'm over S4, I'm long. I need to make some modifications to the cheat sheet I have that I think actually has that backwards. Because at first I really didn't care. But lately I've noticed more and more that it actually is okay to just wait, because like obviously like I wouldn't want to just go long here just because we're above S4, right? I want it to come above S4 and actually consolidate above it and then break away, right? So my long is there, right? Because look at the the reason why is because of the participation. Look, go out on BAC, look at the chart, right? Look at all these candles. Look at the big sell. Look at the big sell. This is going to be straight loaded with short sellers, right? We're going to have all kinds of short sellers in this range from pre-market, right? So if we come up into this range, we start challenging the pre-market. If we come out of this range, we start challenging the previous day's short sellers, right? And we start squeezing. That's why we become a buy here, but we're not a buy here. Here we're a sell, right? Right now, they're still winning, 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 right? We're all winning. Short sellers are still winning. It's not until we get up here that they start to lose, right? So we're not even thinking longs right now, right? It's not that it won't be a long. It's just not your statistical best odds for risk versus reward. Right now, that's the direction, right? Unless something changes, right? Big volume on a new like 5-minute, 15, 30-minute, hourly, whatever you use, high, big volume, right? Then you're seeing these people are going to start getting out and stopping out of their positions. That's when we go up, right? Nice, Miles. Always try to help. This is what makes, this is the subtle art of day trading that I like to talk about, right? Because for everyone who's new, especially, you get lured into this really weird concept. Well, it's not weird. It kind of makes sense, but unfortunately, it's wrong. All right. Buy low, sell high. Right? Seems really simple. Two-finger method, right? All you gotta do is buy it when it's low and sell it when it's high. Duh. How come you can't do that? You can't buy low and sell high? Why? Because there are times when you buy high, sell higher. And there are times you sell low and buy lower. Right? Value away from value. R3, S3, or sorry, S3, S4, R4. Right? This is what our cams break the day's action into. This is why the cams are valuable. Because the cams help you isolate the ranges in which this is going to happen or in which this is going to happen. You can't always buy the dip. If you do, you are going to end up losing a lot of money while you bag hold, right? Because there is a point at what time you get low that people who bought before start selling because they're preserving capital, right? At some point, the bulls are out. And guess what? We've got these fun things called short sellers and bears, right? Which means they're going to add to the selling at the low range to buy back lower. And that's who you want to be. You want to be a short seller below S4, right? You are not longing below S4 at any given time, right? And same thing, you don't want to be a short seller above R4. You want to only be longing there, right? And then when you're above S4, guess what? We're in a buy range. We're actually going to buy low and sell high, like the name says, right? But there are instances in which you are going to sell high and buy low. There are instances in which you're going to buy low and sell high, but there are also instances in which we are going to buy high, sell low, buy low. Yes, you can short. So let me do it this way. Look at this. Everything under the fourth levels, right, is a short. All the way to the central pivot, right, or the central line. So for instance, right, that's a short area there. This is a shorting area here. This is a shorting area here, right? These are all selling areas, right? So notice here we try to break out. As we try and break out, we fail at R6 and we sell, and then we come out of the buying range into the selling range, short at R4. Look at the breakdown all the way to S3. And then we pull back, and on the next day, we come right up and test R3, right? Which is meat and potatoes right in the middle of the selling range, right? And then we sell all the way through, all the way down into the next selling range. We do it so hard and fast, we actually imbalance the market maker and we get a low volume squeeze. Look at the diversion in volume. We get a low volume squeeze. And then we roll over and look, we open up mid value and we run straight out the bottom in pre-market and basically open in a selling range, right? Very, very bearish look to BAC right now. Look at Microsoft. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So, point right here, right? Microsoft opened in mid value. So, what we're going to do is we're going to let it run out to the edge. And then we'll pick it up here for the return back to value. right? This is perfect long off of around S4 in this instance. Really pretty. Anyway, Walmart. Let's see if Meta did anything. We're still trying to get Meta down to 156 for Ed. Walmart. Yeah. Green on the top and red on the bottom for S4. Because I short under it and I long over it. Yeah, R4 is the opposite. Or I mean, it sets the same way. Green on top, red on bottom. Green on top, red on bottom. What's fun about the fourth levels, it's the fourth levels are the pivots. You know what I mean? So the fourth levels are the pivot between buying and selling ranges, right? So when you're above the fourth level, you go into a buying range. When you're below it, you're selling, right? When you're above this one, you're buying. When you're below it, you're selling. So you'll notice we came down into the buying range on Walmart and we bought out of it, right? And then we went all the way up through, sold a little bit, but then actually pushed all the way through. And now we're actually back into a buying range, right? So this is how stocks squeeze and run all day long, right? Because now we've actually gone all the way through the range and now we're into the position of squeezing shorts, right? So, and if we get too much higher, I wonder what max pain is on Walmart. Hold on 1 second. $125. Yep. So we're already over max pain. So that explains it too, right? So we're kind of having a gamma event on Walmart. Max pain was like 125 right here, and we went through it, and we started to, and now we're running out as we're getting squeezed, and the up and the so all right. So I'm not an options trader, so my definition on this may not be 100%. Okay, but basically in the options market, right, they have something that's called premium, right? And basically whenever you take a position, the premium is what you are paying to take a position, and that's what your risk generically is if your option should expire worthless. Right. So let's say you buy something that's over 125, right? As long if it stays under 125, then if it expires under that level, you don't make money, right? You don't really lose money, you just lose your premium, right? Which is think about like a credit card, it's the percentage that you're paying in order to hold the position. But that's it, and that's really not that big of a deal. But what happens is once you get over max pain, it requires the options market to start making different decisions. They actually have to start covering certain positions. People start taking profit because we're in certain areas. Other people will start adding into positions because of it, and it can cause some really nice squeezes. Yeah, I'm waiting for 127.63 on Walmart just to watch it and see what it does. I'm looking for daily R4. I'm not going to trade Walmart because I had a really, really good trade on Tesla that put me up like 7R for the day. So I'm not going to be taking any more trades. I'm not looking this gift morse. But I'm watching R4 here, which is our daily cam. So remember what cams do. Cams isolate buying areas and selling areas. And right now on Walmart, we are screaming into the top of the selling area. But that means we are getting very, very close to moving into a buying area, right? If Walmart can go through our 4, look what's back here. Huge gap. That's you can click there and it'll let you get the Max Payne data on any ticker for free. This is what I'm doing on it. I don't know the answer. Calculate without using. So yeah, I am using it. You bet. So this is my point though. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Once we move into this area on Walmart, right? Everyone who has shorted, who had made money in this gigantic gap sell, right, is going to have to decide, am I really going to hold this short position or is it time to get out and take my profit? I know what I would do, right? I would take my profit. As soon as you go through that ISO pivot right here, right? As soon as you break through that, I'd be out, period. I mean, I'd actually already be out. I'd probably have been out already. But so we are likely to encounter some resistance here because if any of these short sellers intend to defend these positions, right? Like especially this heavy one at 132, if any of them have the intention to defend any of those positions, they're going to need to do that like right now. Like, if not, we get any higher, especially if we breach these daily levels here, it's just off. I mean, I don't understand what would stop it from running all the way back to daily VWAP and filling this gap. And it could do it. Look how fast it gapped. It could do it very, very quickly. This is set up on the here. Oops. This is the 1 month period, the monthly cams. You bet. So anyway, that's why I'm so like hot on this level right now, because if it doesn't defend really really stinking soon. Now it's not a short. You're going to see a lot of volume, right? And I mean our average volume like on this thing at the close this day, for instance, was like around 250,000. So I'm going to kind of expect for this thing to turn around. I'm thinking at least 120 to a 250,000 in a single candle to really show that this thing is run into a heavy seller of some sort. And that's got to happen sometime within this area right here. If it doesn't, things are going to get really, really weird. So the thing that we have going on also is the SPY and the Qs are both coming up near 2 days ago. I think it's 2 day ago low maybe on Q. So we really got to kind of keep an eye on that and start seeing if we get any baseline rejections here. So yeah. All day, every day. Volume by price is very, very important for me. I don't. It's just something I read as it goes. It's the volume by price is telling you where you're. Yeah, of course. So what happens, right? is the stock price moves up and down. Hold on, let me do like a notepad. The stock price moves up and down like this. Every time it moves up and down, it does this, we call it a tick. Right? One tick up, one tick down, one tick up, one tick down, right? In a certain, as the stock market moves over and over and over again like that, there will become a point where you're hitting a certain amount of ticks will kind of line up and congregate in the same area, right? And that will form VPOC, right? Which I have as this yellow line. So what that shows is the highest, see, normal volume shows transactions by time, right? So when you're looking at the volume down here, they call it volume, right? But they should call it volume by time, right? Because it is volume, but it's volume by time, right? The other one is the same. It's volume, but instead of volume by time, it's volume by price. Right? So, but both things apply. Both things are showing you at a time frame or at a level where you have a large amount of transactions. And then the question for you, right, especially where those areas line up, where you get a lot of volume by time and a lot of volume by price at the same area, that's what we're looking for, right? That shows you that we've hit a large seller, that we've got something going on that's really interesting. Anyway. You bet. That I don't. That I won't know, Sean. I don't think, but we can look. Um, the thing you can make sure that as you have it configured, right, for your pivot point. You have to be on the daily for it to even give you the option, and then it's the 1 month option. Make sure your config X is blanked so it doesn't like give you weird charts. Stop in Tesla was below. Where was it? Where'd you go, Tesla? Stop on Tesla was at. It was like, I think it was below, like somewhere like just below 688, like around 687.50, below 688. It was like right in here somewhere. I just used click to trade, so I think I put it. It was probably down near 687.50 because my stop was VWAP. So 2-to-1 from there to there, or 3-to-1 would be all the way over VWAP. So yeah, I must have used 687.50. Nice wide stop for Tesla because it can be a pain in the butt. Yeah, I think Microsoft is the level 2 is lacking in balance right now for sure. The thing is that the thing I do like is I like how we came up into this daily level here, and then we just threw this. I mean, look at these top side wicks here. I mean, that's just total, total shooting star action. Little fireworks going on here. Looked really solid as far as that go. We had a lack of momentum as we pushed. We're kind of in this extended range, so it looked fun for a failure there. Um, I wouldn't say I wouldn't short R5 necessarily. However, R5 is a little tight for shorting because you've just gone out into the breakout range at this point. You're kind of breaking out here, and you're kind of in a buy range. So for me, ideally, no. I would allow it to come all the way out to R6, and then if it rejects R6, then play it back to R4. If it rejects R4, continue. If it doesn't, comes back up, cut it out. Because if it holds R4, it's probably going to try and break out again. Yeah, exactly. All of the levels basically play the same either direction. Yeah, exactly. That's why I make mine gray and light, so I can barely see them. Because I like them to just blend in with the chart. Apple? Let's look. I really like where Microsoft's at range-wise. Way up near this, like, high candle under R4. I want to see this thing pop out. You avoid shorting R4, longing S4? No. No, no. Above R4, buying range. Hold on, let me use colors. Buying range. Buying range. Right. Selling range. Selling range. If I'm below S4, I'm shorting. If I'm above R4, I'm longing. 9 out of 10. Right? Because, see, here's the thing, and this is the big thing, you guys. Sometimes you buy high and sell higher. Right? Yeah, I that's what I said, Marco. Before I said there's a slight but not really. The only thing the spreadsheets do is on the plays it inverts where it says you can let it go over and then short here, let it go under. And honestly, that's not going to lead you too far astray there, but it is backwards. But otherwise, everything else should be exactly the same. It still identifies buying and selling areas as the same. But I need to change that for accuracy because you're right in that aspect. But that's the reason why we're not shorting here, right? We don't want to short here because we're in a buying range. We're above R4. We're stopping out people who have shorted before, right? So this is a long right now, right? It is not a long if it gets far enough, if it gets to the underneath of daily R4, right? We have our monthly R4 even coming up here in a few cents. If we go underneath that, sure, I'll take it, right? I'll look at that. Plus, we're at R6. Now we're getting extended enough from R4 that we may try and return. But the big thing you have to remember is at some point the rubber band snaps, right? And that can be this for Walmart. Walmart can, in fact, keep going up, right? It can break out from this monthly level, this monthly cam, and it can actually go out and just rip, right? Because it'll go into a gap range, right, that we had before. So there's no reason just because we're broken out to start shorting. Quite the opposite. If anything, because we're breaking out from R4, now is the time to hold your trend, right? And then when it loses trend, time to get out, right? Because you're going to go in search of new value, and it may have found it already, right? This might be where Walmart sets up value for the day, right? It could just sit here and chop. Look, we had this big hit in volume right here, and then we kind of slowly pushed away from it, So I don't know if I see the gas to run out any much further. So maybe we do stall here, but we could just go choppy, right? And just set value here. Really interesting though. How can you put value on the chart? The yellow line, VPOC, that's in the volume by price study.